National Law University, Delhi recently released the death penalty research report which created much buzz in the Rajya Sabha. Deputy Editor Uttam Sengupta read this report way back in 2014 when we did our cover story on the death penalty report. We have him with us today to talk about the nuances of this report. Hello, Uttam.
Hi, Arushi.
So let's start with what the main findings of the death penalty research project are.
This is a unique project, a pioneering study done by the university, Law University in Delhi. And their findings are that only 5% of the people convicted to death actually get confirmed by the Supreme Court.
Right.
Their finding is also that 80% of these people have never been to school. They are also saying that the trials in each of these cases continued between 5 to 16 years. And finally, most of these people happen to come from poorer sections. They are either Dalits or they belong to minority communities.
Supreme Court Judge Madan Lokur said that the courts did not have any jurisprudence philosophy on death penalty, and in several cases the penalty was given arbitrarily without concern for it being a deterrent or a reformative measure. How much of the blame lies on the judiciary then?
I don't think the judiciary can be blamed for this, but what Justice Lokur was saying was that the court has never been very clear whether death sentence is being given to reform the convict or other convicts, or to act as a deterrent for others, or is it a kind of a retribution or revenge. I think that is still not very clear. So in terror cases it can be revenge. In many cases again it could be meant as a deterrent. But I don't think the court has evolved a doctrine, or they don't have a very clear philosophy so far.
The report also points to an overwhelming majority of Dalits and religious minorities on death row. What does this say about the functioning of the judicial system? Is it biased?
You see, obviously the judicial system is biased towards the underprivileged, and the underprivileged have even less understanding of the law and the legal procedures. They don't get access to good legal aid, and they can't afford good lawyers to argue their cases, and that's why they are the ones who get convicted. If you look at other cases like Manu Sharma or Priyadarshini Mattu, when she was killed and all that, in all these cases the killers were upper caste men, and they were not given the death sentence. So obviously there is a bias working in the judiciary.
Another institution that comes under the scanner is the police itself, with the report suggesting that most legal courses are not taken between making the arrest and delivering the verdict. How can this be changed?
Police reforms is obviously the answer. The police don't investigate properly, and they don't prosecute professionally. I think that has been the experience for the last 60 years, and unfortunately the government has shown very little political will to correct this kind of a situation. And because the investigation is flawed or incomplete or influenced and so on, we get a very flawed kind of a prosecution.
Cases such as Nirbhaya, which are under trial, have a huge basing in public pressure on view of the verdict. So how far do you think this drives the delivering of the death penalty by courts?
Judges are human beings, and whether you take the case of Yaqub Memon, or whether you take the case of Afzal Guru, or you take the case of Dhananjay Chatterjee, or you take the case of Nirbhaya, in all these cases public opinion certainly influenced the judgment, because the court went along with the public mood. And in fact, in one of these cases, the Supreme Court said that the collective conscience of the country has to be upheld, even if there was not adequate evidence. So the role of the media, the role of civil society, the role of public opinion cannot be underestimated.
Shifting on to the political system, do you feel that any major political party is capable of taking a clear stand on the issue of death penalty?
You must be mad. Which political party has the will to take this as a priority issue? judicial reforms, hasn't been addressed by any government, by any political party. In no manifesto, do we see, any such thing. So I don't think, we are anywhere close, to judicial reform or any reform on capital punishment.
Thank you, Uttam, for joining us. This is Arushi Bedi, and you're watching Outlook Filter.